Hey guys, muli Bwanji, muli Shani, muli Uli, muli Puti, and everything else. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Olipa. I've never actually introduced my channel by saying my name. That even feels weird. I don't know why I did that. Okay, so welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for subscribing if you are a subscriber. If not, girl, boy, you are sleeping, you are playing yourself, you better hit that subscribe button and turn on the post notifications so that you know every time I upload a video. Okay, so let's get right into it. Today I am preparing a beef stew. Okay, so you have been informed last minute. Excuse me. Good Lord. So you have been informed last minute that you're having guests over, people are coming over, you have this beef and you don't know what to do with it. So let me show you a quick, easy recipe on how to prepare a good, delicious, simple beef stew. Like, this is cooking for dummies 101. Anybody can do this, okay? So let's get started. Okay, so I have my beef with me here. I've laid it out on a tray because I was cutting it into smaller pieces. I prefer to have like, can you see? Okay, there we go. Great. So I prefer to have like small cubes of the beef, which is exactly what I've done. And we need to get started with our salting and stuff like that. Okay, so first things first, we're going to add some salt. I'm adding about a teaspoon of salt, but just add enough to taste. If you need less than a teaspoon, that's fine. Next, we're going to add some paprika. I love to use paprika in my beef stew. It just gives it a kick and a different taste. And then I'm going to add some ginger, right? So I added about 2 teaspoons of ginger, and then make sure to mix it up very well and make sure each piece of beef is coated evenly. Then after we do this, the next thing is to add flour. So you can use any type of flour that you have, just enough to coat the beef. This allows the stew to thicken properly. So I used 2 teaspoons of flour and coated each piece with the flour to make sure that it was evenly coated. Okay, here we go. This is done and this is looking great. So meanwhile, the pot has been heating up on a medium-high temperature, and now we get to add our beef in there and wait for it to cook properly. So we are looking for this beautiful brown color that it's creating, as well as the color of the pot, because this is what makes the stew have that, like, nice thickness to it. You guys wouldn't believe what has just happened. Power has cut, and yeah, power has cut. It's the freaking ghetto, I tell you. I honestly thought this whole like power outing thing was done. For whatever reason, I feel like I haven't experienced power cuts in such a long time. My mind completely forgot that they even exist. But anyway, power has cut right now. I will continue to shoot the video. When power comes, or if I get the strength to light a brazier, which right now I don't have. But yeah, so bear with me. The rest of the video might actually be a little dark, but you will still be able to get the gist of how to do this. So that's Zesco for us, right? Yo, guys, the gods of good food were on my side today. So power returned. It was just out for like 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm trying to do this as fast as possible just in case it goes again. I am now frying my onions. This is actually red onion. You can use any onion that you have. I'm frying my onion until it is slightly brown, just slightly brown, and then we will add tomatoes. If you have tomato paste, that's even better. Go ahead and use that. You can grate your tomatoes or just cut them up in, like, rough cubes, the way I've done. And we're going to just cook this for a few minutes, like 2 minutes. Be sure to add some salt. You know my rule about adding salt every step of the way, so make sure you add some salt. And then we are going to add our pieces of potatoes. There we go. So most people prefer to have like the potatoes in chunks, in quarters if anything. I prefer to have them in smaller pieces. Don't be afraid if they're going to like smash or overcook. Don't be afraid of that. That actually thickens the stew and it adds some flavor to it. Here's a tip. If you want to have like whole potatoes in your stew, boil them separately and add them towards the end of the cooking of the stew. And so yeah, I'm going to mix this up and then we're going to add our beef. So I added some carrots. You can use any vegetables you have. You can add some baby marrow. You can add some whatever vegetable you have that you would like to add. Go ahead and use that, but be careful to not add vegetables that don't take as long to cook. They will overcook and it will just throw off the whole thing. So now that we have our bed of potatoes, we add our beef right on the top. Making sure that our beef sits right on the very top of our bed of potatoes. This is where it's going to cook for most of the time. We'll only get to stir it after about 30 to 40 minutes, but for now we're keeping it like this. So now we get to add some broth. I'm using beef broth. It has hardened, as you can see. That's fine. All that is going to melt off in there. Actually, I might as well remove some of these. So I have used beef broth, and this is the point at which I put my secret recipe. So my secret to my stew is adding wine. So I'm using white wine. Most people prefer to use red wine, which is perfectly fine. But remember that we are having a ginger kind of taste in this. It becomes a little bit overwhelming. So white wine goes better with that. So now that we've added everything, we're not going to stir this for another 30 to 40 minutes. When we stir that, we'll cook it for another 30 minutes and then it will be done. So now all we need to do is put a lid on it and wait for it to cook.